Right, good morning, people. How are we today? I hope we're all well. Well, what can I say? There's some nonsense in the papers today, folks. I mean, real nonsense. And some of the papers have got real interesting headlines in order to avoid a certain headline that they don't want promoted, which is interesting as well in and of itself. But we'll get to that. So we shall. Right, good morning. Who's all in? Let's have a look. Peter M's in, Alistair's in, June Dalrymple's in, Anna Chisholm's in, Lenny's in, Harry's in, Aki's is in. Who's that one? Hi Christina, hi Neil, hi John Baxter, hi Kenneth, who else is in? Eddie's in, Aki's in, George Docherty's in, June Sinclair's in, I see Mary McDonald's in. I think I've seen Barbara there somewhere as well. Good morning, Barbara. The other Davies in. I think we've got you all. Oh, Scott Haynes is there. Kirsty Falls. Last Braveheart. Back down the way. Right. Numbers are rising nicely. So we'll kick this one off. It's Indy Truck Davy out the truck and up home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it is 14 degrees, cloudy. Today's high is expected to be 19 degrees. There is no rain in the forecast for my area. And for David, the other one, humidity here, David, is 77%. Okay. The pollen count's moderate and the main allergen is grass. So that's the weather here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know what the weather's like where you are, look out your own bloody windy. Alright, let's go on with this. First up this morning, we've got Murdoch's Manky Rag, the scum, which we don't put up, so I'll just give you the headline. Sick image claim. Labour MSP on kids. Picks rap. Labour MSP arrested and charged over indecent images of children. Interesting. So that's one of the big four here in Scotland, and that's their headline. Alright. Next up, we have the Fail. I'll put that up. Although it does sell here in Scotland, there's no big seller here in Scotland. And the Daily Fail has Labour MSP is charged over indecent images. Former General Secretary suspended by party after arrest. And this is the news that Colin Smythe, MSP, was in possession of a pile of pics that depicted sexual abuse of children. Labour, Tory, indistinguishable, thoroughly undistinguishable from each other, both corrupt, both pervert, and both fixed on their power, privilege, and patronage. Anna Sarwar's no got his troubles to seek, has he? No just is he a fucking liar. His deputy's a fucking liar. And one of his ex-front benchers, the General Secretary of the English Party in Scotland, is a fucking pervert. This comes hard on the conviction of Labour councillor, who was also a fucking pervert. It's like looking at the Tory party with a red rosette. That's exactly what it is. Right, take that down. And next up, we have the Scotsman. What do we think the Scotsman goes on this morning, folks? Because this is the second of the big four here in Scotland. Well, the Scotsman goes on. Oh dear. This one's a cracker. Give me a minute, folks, to compose myself, because I was pissing myself laughing when I read this one. I nearly spat my coffee over the computer screen. Stampede of offshore wind condemned. Fishing chiefs say their industry will be trampled by energy plans. And I thought, a stampede of offshore turbines stamping on wee boats, trampling on wee boats. I thought to myself, I hope there's going to be a public inquiry into this. I really do. I mean, we can't have bits of tech trampling on fishermen when they're out on their job. Anyway, I hope the turbine herders have rounded these faking turbines up by now, got them back in their field, and put them on the fucking version of the naughty step, whatever it is they've got. Because we can't have wind turbines trampling on wee boats while they're out trying to catch a fishy for my little dishy when the boat comes in. Can't be having that. The extent that some rags will go to protect the Labour Party is beyond the pale. But stampeding wind turbines, trampling on wee boats, that will not do, Scottish Government. I demand a public inquiry. Get these turbine herders into that Parliament to explain themselves. Wow. That's unacceptable behaviour, wind turbines. We will not be accepting that. You stay in your fucking moorings and leave our wee boats alone to catch fishes for our wee dishes for when the boat comes in. Alright? Wow. Couldn't make this shit up, could you? You really couldn't. That's the extent that this rag will go to protect the Labour Party here in Scotland. That's the second big paper in Scotland today. You couldn't make that pish up, by the way. Oh dear. Oh dearie dear. Next up we'll get the Herald. What's that got? One thing I can assure you, it's not going to have Labour MSP arrested and charged with indecent pictures of children as a fucking headline. That's for sure. So here comes a third of the big four here in Scotland. And what's that got for us? Crisis talks on social care in absolute paralysis. Do you know this fucking rag has got a cheek? It and its fucking union supporters in that Parliament along that road shut down the notion of a National Care Service. We should be in year fucking 3 of it. Year 3. But no, rags like this and their union is fucking lick spittles. Put an end to it. And now they're complaining it's in fucking crisis. You couldn't make that up. Wow. These people who didn't want a National Care Service are now complaining that the care sector's in crisis. You could not make this shit up. Well, apparently they do. Opposition parties demand action. There was a plan put before a Parliament in 2023 passed and then kiboshed at later stages because the English masters told their Scottish parties you can't have a National Care Service of 4 wee fucking day. We should be in year 3 of constructing a comprehensive National Care Service. And here we have these bastards making this complaint. Wow, you couldn't make it up. But once again, this is to protect Colin Smythe, Labour MSP, who is a pervert, who has a computer full of kiddie images, apparently. I wonder who reported him at the police. His wife, hopefully. Because apparently the family man of two's fucking embarrassed about it. Honesty, I did say there was some nonsense in the papers. But as I say, top marks to the Scotsman. What a flight of fucking fancy that was to take everybody's mind off the fact that along in that parliament there is an elected representative who likes looking at images of children being abused. Fuck. Did I mention he was in the Labour Party? We normally get that sort of stuff with the Tory Party. Wow. But that's two Labour politicians in a fortnight, with the councillor last week jailed. Now we've got an ex-Secretary General. Couldn't make it up. You fucking couldn't make it up. Right. What's their answer go for us? Their answer's on culture wars. Urban Welsh says Nick Hutt and the hoax. He says our trans policies set movement back. Urban, your work's wonderful, but stop talking pish. And don't let the unionist tools use you. By the way, that one, they're answered. It's got Urban Welsh on the front page, slating Nicola for wanting to give everybody equal rights here in Scotland. Well, they're answered. That hasn't even got Labour MSP arrested as a byline. It might be inside the paper, I don't know, I wouldn't buy it. But it attacks the independence movement, it attacks Nicola Sturgeon, and it stokes its Westminster Masters fucking culture wars. That's what that does. But three of the biggest four sellers here in Scotland today went out their way not to have a headline involving a Labour MSP being a fucking pervert and having been arrested for indecent images of children being abused. Unfucking believable. You're right, Desiree. Requirement to join a unionist party must be a liar, a delinquent, a total incompetent, and now you can add pervert to the list. Okie dokie. Next up. Oh, it was the Herald, wasn't it? Right, next up we've got the knuckle dragging paper, the Express. And what's it go for us? Well, actually, it's attacking Labour, but in this case it's no lying. The Express tells us this morning that households will pay $300 a year more under Labour as price cap set to rise again. Millions face energy bill rip-off. We're coming up in the winter. Starmer's pastime and Labour's pastime is freezing fucking granny. Now that granny's got back her 200 quid of a winter fuel payment, need to fuck her fuel bill up by 300 quid to make sure she fucking freezes. Wow. If I remember right, Starmer pledged to bring down electricity bills by 300 quid. Did you know? Oh, of course it was a Starmer pledge. It was a Labour Party pledge. So therefore, it was piss in the wind. Excuse me. I don't think Labour have honoured a single fucking thing they ran on. Not a single fucking one. And new granny is to freeze this winter. Any fucking surprise? Anybody surprised? Because I know I'm no. But we did tell them. But they listen to 3-word slogans as usual. Labour for change. 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 Tell you what, I'll sit back and take a minute. Stick it in the comments. No, even the workers' rights bill is a change. It's just returning rights we used to fucking have. Or should always have had. Fuck's sake. I'm waiting. Where's the change? Oh, that's right. Keir Starmer changed the Labour Party into the Conservative Party. Full stop. Tony Blair started the exercise in 1997. Starmer's completed the exercise. Fuck. You always thought being pervert was part of the first qualification for a unionist politician, so the whips can control them. Class action now, dear boy. As much as you and I know that's true, we're not supposed to say it out loud. Papa Francis. Oh, I'm trying my best to behave myself today, but it's very difficult. I mean, when after Tony Blair pulled off the greatest heist that's ever been played on the middle classes and the working classes, we now have Starmer take it full circle to full out, flat out Tory, where he actually told left-wing party members, you don't like it, there's the fucking door. You don't like it, there's the door. And if you don't know what the greatest heist that Tony Blair pulled off on the UK public, well, I've explained that a few times. I'm not going to explain it again. All I'll say is minimum wage and tax credit scheme. If you don't understand that heist, then you probably know a regular in my audience. It was the biggest transfer of wealth to the wealthy in UK history. It even made Maggie's attempt look like fucking child's play. And I say, if you don't understand that, then you're definitely the wrong audience. Okay, let's get this one done and move on. Wow, there's some fucking doozies in the press today, guys. Love it. Absolutely love it. Next up, we'll get the Times. The Times, I'm afraid, and a few of the other rags that are sold here in Scotland, but don't actually sell that many, are running on England-only stories or England and Wales-only stories. But here we go. The Times. And the Times has. Labour Council explores migrant hotel legal action. Here we go. They'll be building concentration camps to put these people in next until they have appeased the right wing. And even that won't appease them. Only blood will appease them. Fuck. I don't recognise the state across that border. I don't recognise the people across that border anymore. The milk of human kindness is on display here. You've got people fleeing persecution and war, coming here seeking refuge and asylum. What is there to say? What is there to say? It would appear that the scum bubbles to the top even at local level, where councils should be promoting integration, promoting sympathy, care and compassion for these people who have come through really difficult times, this is what we get. Is it just fucking me? No, I know it's not just me, because we're a community of people who care, who raise money to help others, who are compassionate towards others. I don't recognise the people next door. They have lost their sense of being. Some of them. Most of them are good old chaps. There you go. Anyway, but really, think about that. The milk of human kindness is definitely on display here. Not. And for people like us, that's quite distressing, folks, because we're not compassionate people. We're caring people. We'd rather do positive things in our community than negative things in our community. And that's what makes us the opposite from knuckle fucking draggers. And thankfully, the majority of people in England are still sane. But fuck me. It's getting near 50-50. Next up, we've got the Telegraph. There's a Telegraph. Red and blue Telegraph, by the way. State has failed white working class pupils, says English Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson. She says that thick white working class kids are holding Britain back. Yes, you heard me correctly. Bridget Phillipson, the English Education Secretary, says that thick white working class children are holding Britain back. And of course, the state has failed white working class people. What about black working class peoples? What about brown working class class peoples? What about Asian working class peoples? We all attend the same fucking schools. So if the state in England has failed white working class children, then it must have failed the fucking rest of them too. There's a good example of racism right in your fucking face. State-sponsored racism. It doesn't say state has failed working class pupils. It says state has failed white working class pupils. And according to Bridget Phillipson, thick white working class pupils in England are holding England back. Charming fucking woman. And that's how to give confidence to our little darlings, is it not? Tell them they're fucking failures? Wow. Wow. As I say, I don't recognise a lot of what's happening in that land next door. And a lot of what's happening in that land next door distresses me. So if I get any good people in that land next door, please try and get a grip of these nutters. I know the majorities are still saying, try and get a grip of these nutters, including your education fucking secretary. Jesus, belittling your children. We have unionist parties here in Scotland. Cuckoos in the nest in the Scottish Parliament do that. We have a whole broadcaster up here do that. Tell our kids day in, day out, all their achievements are shite. Don't allow the state to battle your kids the way it battles ours. Get a grip on them. Fuck's sake. Yeah, well, that was another England-only story, because we have a different education secretary, a different education system, a different qualification system, the whole fucking scaboodle. And actually, we've got more kids going on to positive fucking outcomes than anywhere else in these islands. Youth unemployment is lowest in Scotland, highest in England. And of course, we don't burden our children with bus fares or education fees. Right, let's move on. You're right, Desiree Brincat. And you're right as well, class action. The English establishment are turning England into the new Northern Ireland. Fuck's sake. We are going to have to get out of here, folks, for sanity. We really are. Right, next up we'll get a national. What's the national vote for this morning? No, that's doing its usual and running a couple of headlines at a time. Its bylines are almost always as big as its bloody headlines, actually. Alistair, I'll get to that in a wee minute, mate, thanks. The National. Scottish Labour MSP Colin Smythe suspended after being charged with possession of indecent images. Hasn't he mentioned the fact it's indecent images of children? Apparently, a student loan company and the IDF-linked IT firm has a public contract for 1.4 million. Let's get to see what Alistair's got for us this morning. Heard be down the road that they, the usual suspects, 10 names, want to raise the Flag Day all over the UK. Actually, just England. Getting the St George Union flag up to intimidate people, in my opinion. Funds for things, thanks, Alistair. You know, Alistair, that's a bloody great point. And thanks, Lenny. Thank you very much, dear boy. To say, the milk of human kindness still exists here. We still care about each other. We still care about community. Class action is right. That Parliament doing that road is sowing division and it's doing it deliberately to protect itself. It's making a fucking mistake. I can assure you that. But, you know, several of the employees of this IT firm, by the way, which is administered student loans here in Scotland, are actually serving members of the IDF or retired members of the IDF. I think Police Scotland should be looking at whether these people have served recently or no. And if so, round them up and jail the bastards. Alright, that was a national. On the paper review today, folks. Next up, we've got The Guardian. That's running in England, the only story and all. And it's on the milk of human fucking kindness as well. Labour Council joins revolts over asylum hotels after Epping ruling. These people will not be happy until the refugees and the people seeking asylum are in fucking tents in the field getting a turn up to eat per week. They say the milk of human kindness has fucking died next door. I don't recognise England. I don't recognise the place at all. And that's no me saying that as I don't recognise its existence. I just don't recognise it. I spent a few years in England. Back in the 80s. And they were the kindest, most generous, community-driven people you'd ever met. What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? Israel says it will expand Gaza's city offensive. Oh dear. Oh dearie dear. You're right, Sir Larry Cat. Mere Tommy shite. Right, that was The Guardian. We're getting there. Only 3 to go. Next up, we'll get the Eye. Well, it should be the Eye, I think. Yep, the Eye. Here we go. Labour councils threaten new legal action over asylum seekers hotels. Doesn't it sound like international solidarity to me? See, I don't recognise this Labour Party. I don't recognise England. They are different places. And they're a different outfit the Labour Party, and England's a different place altogether. Actually, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's always been underlying. I think it's been created. See, when I was in the southeast of England in the 80s, nicer people you couldn't have met. More community-driven people you couldn't have met. And I mean inclusivity in their communities. Asians, blacks, the Irish, they were all accepted. Not as through the Irish in there because they were not always accepted. The blacks were not always accepted. But come the 80s, well, you know, the racism things had gone. Everybody was getting on well. Communities were working well. And by the end of the 80s, I'm sure England was a fantastic place for everybody to live. Look what it has now become. That was you don't recognise the SNP, Davy? Well, actually, I do. And a good example of its democratic roots isn't just the idea that there's two proposals for independence going forward being put on the table at conference. There's also a motion being put on the table but, to force the Scottish Government and the SNP no to follow Westminster's prescription of Palestine action. I recognise the party. I might not like the mood it's in at the moment, but I recognise it. It's not changed that much. It's still democratic. I can't see like all the policies it's had lately. Hey-o. Right, anyway. Say England's not a place I recognise at this point in time. The right wing have been let off the leash. And it was always there. Just nobody. No, they were the cotton twitchers. They're the ones you didn't see. Right, next up should be the Metro. This one's a cracker, folks. An absolute cracker. Ex-vicar led sect within Church of England. Cult priest guilty of 17 sex crimes. Cracker. Absolute cracker. Anyway, ex-priest or minister in the Church of England, Christopher Bryan, was given the okay to start a religious rave club. He turned into a cult and sexually assaulted 9 women. Charming fellow. Deary. Absolutely charming fellow. 17 sex crimes, 9 women. The cool looking guy there thinks yeah. I think he had pulled the wool right out of the Church of England's eyes that one, eh? Here, Church of England, give me money to set up a rave club so I can assault young people. He sold the idea to the Church of England and the idea that he'd get young worshippers back into church. So he was holding raves in church buildings. You couldn't make it up. Right, didn't even rent them. The church just gave them. You couldn't make it up. That's a business model that's a winner, eh? It's a business model as a winner right off. Brilliant. Hey, by the way, folks, there's actually some boffins in the Star today. You'll be glad to hear. Charming felons. There's some boffins in the Star today, folks. So let's get it up. This one's almost as funny as the Scotsman, but fuck all beats the Scotsman today. The extent it went to hide the fact that Labour MSP had been charged with having indecent images of children being abused. I still can't get an image in my head wind turbines stomping on fishing boats as they sail by, collecting their wee creels. It's fucking brilliant. Just the terminology. Stampede and trample. Oh dear. Right, let's see where the stars go for us today. It's definitely not going to be as good as the Scotsman, I can assure you. Oh, it's been a good day to be reporting on the headlines, I can tell you. Stop crying your heart out. Nation is struggling with Oasis blues after epic summer union gig. Wonder whale. And apparently boffins have said that we're all suffering with post-Oasis PTSD. Better put that boffin back to sleep. He hasn't got a fucking Scooby what he's talking about. PTSD. We're all missing Oasis. I don't like a pair of shapes. I never liked their music that much either. Pair of gobby Mancunians. Yeah, a pair of wee Neds make good. Yeah. Brilliant. Never liked a pair of spanners. Where we go? Yeah. Heather, thank you very much. Thank you. Sunglasses. Perpetually fall onto video game controller, proud face. I did that in the ex-minister's face and all sunglasses. But thanks very much, Heather, for your kind contribution. Thank you. It's getting near that time, actually. It'll be in 5 days' time, then we'll set about getting it back out again, folks. When it comes in, I will get a blank, I'll get a printout so you can see what's there. Now, I am about 3/4 of the way through making up this list and telling you how much we've done over the last couple of years. I'll finish it over the weekend and hopefully get to you by Thursday next week once I've double checked my figures. Alright. At this point in time, I've been matching the receipts to when I've transferring it to the Bank of Scotland, the bank statement. So, there you go. It's a fair bit of work, and I didn't think it was going to take me so long. I thought it was going to be a flyby, but because when sometimes when I was going to Bells Hall, I'd just draw it out of the cash machine, put it through my account, and send it out. I've got to track all that down and match up each transaction. All right, so they're all there, but as I say, I keep them all in a box, and I write on the back of them who the money went to. So they're a wee bit easier to track, and the date and times on them as well, so that helps. That matches up with the cash point withdrawals to send it through my account to the destination. So I'm just matching them all up at the moment, folks. I want to make sure that everything's there and everything's ticked. Okay, before I give you the actual amount and how many different organisations we've helped. And then after that, we'll see about trying to put it out as a Word document with blanking out everybody's names except for the organisations that go. Well, there's sums in that was donated, but we want to blank their names out because the reason why people donate through the bank is A, 30% of it isn't taken by Google Pay, and B, because they don't want you guys to know that they're making donations. Alright. Right, that's it for now, folks. David and I will be back at 4 PM to talk about some of these subjects in a wee bit wider afield. We'll probably cover some of the shit that Donnie's been up to. Maybe even touch on the Ukraine war. We'll definitely be talking about Gaza, I think. Definitely. As Israel goes on fire and runs out of manpower for its war. Netanyahu's talking about calling up European Jews and worldwide Jews to come and fight to win the land that is Gaza and Palestine. I think they'll be telling me to get fucked right off, but we'll discuss that this afternoon. So see you then. Bye for now.